I have a question for you guys. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for something? Are you waiting for a speaker or an amplifier or a cable, a DAC, a new cartridge, a new turntable? Are you waiting for this thing that's going to make everything better? Is that it? Is that what you really believe? No, you don't really believe that, do you? It's not going to work that way. It's going to be different, very different, or maybe a little different, but it's going to be different than what you already have, and maybe that's it. Because I'm a big believer in differences. That's why for a long time I lived with zoo speakers and I lived with zoo speakers and magnepans. Really, really opposite. The zoos were really dynamic, really alive, exciting, fun, toe-tapping speakers, and the Maggies were expansive and pure and great soundstage and wonderful mid-range tonality. And I would spend, when I wasn't reviewing other stuff, I would spend, a week, 10 days with the zoos, then move them out of the way, put in the Maggies, live with those, go back and forth, and then of course there were speakers that I was reviewing mixed in there too. But I like the idea of opposites, of differences, of contrast. It's like that every day, going between playing records on a turntable or listening to CDs or files. They're opposites. They're polar opposites. They do different things. To me, I like digital and I like analog, but the thing about analog is there's a more emotional connection with analog. It's more of a feeling of human beings playing. It's not about transparency or speed or clarity or detail. It can have those things, but it's more about having this feeling that this is actually happening right now. And with digital, even the best of digital, it's more about, let's say, purity, clarity, whatever. It's more pristine. And to tell you the truth, when I've been at sessions back in the day when we would compare the mic feed to the analog to digital and digital to analog output versus the sound off of tape, the mic feed off compared to the A to D and D to A was much closer. Actually, pretty much you couldn't tell the difference. But the mic feed compared to the analog output through tape, you could. So in terms of accuracy, if you're hung up on accuracy, well, you've probably already figured that out, that you'd go to the digital side. I didn't say dark side. You go to the digital side. That's cool. But if you want beauty and musical truth, you might go to the analog side. Or you might do what I do. Do both. I don't think one eliminates the other. They are different. And that's what this episode is all about. It is about differences. I used to make mixtapes on cassettes, and the process of making mixtapes and thinking about the sequence of songs and then going through the work of cueing the record and dropping the needle and starting the tape and missing the cue and screwing that up, it was an experience. It would take an evening to do. I'd come home from work and say, I got to make one of these tapes. And I'd think of the songs and I'd think of the order, and as I was doing it, I'd get lost in it should be this song, then it should be Talking Heads, then. And it was incredible. Now, it had nothing to do really with the fidelity of the end product of the cassette. It was about the experience of thinking about these songs in a certain order. And I would play these tapes and I would really enjoy them. But for the difference, again, it was not about going for the best ultimate or as good as I could make it sound quality. That was never the goal. The goal was to hear these songs in contrast to each other because of the segues that I was creating, of the mood changing from one thing to the next. So again, it's about difference. It's about enjoying music in different ways and basically opening your head to what it can be and what's in the recording. Because I've said this before, nobody knows what is actually in the recording. We just hear different versions of it depending on the speakers we play, different rooms, different tube electronics, solid state electronics, digital, analog. It's going to sound different all the time. Even the musicians that were there at the session, even the recording engineer, mix engineer, mastering engineer, they may have a better idea of what's really there, but even they don't know, because every time they play it, the playback chain is going to be different, and the room's going to be different, or the headphones are going to be different. So we're all circling this thing of trying to find what's in a recording, but we're never going to get there. I don't think that's possible. I think that's it. I think I've said my piece. My name is Steve Guttenberg. This is the Audiophiliac Daily Show. If you dig it, please subscribe. Hit that button right over there. When you do, you'll see a little bell appear. Hit the bell. That means you'll be notified every time there's a new episode. If you like these things, give them a thumbs up. Check out the playlist for speaker reviews and headphone reviews, and music reviews, all kinds of good stuff. Interviews with incredible people. You can follow me on Twitter at Audiophiliac You can follow me on Instagram at steve.guttenberg. Best of all, you should check out the Patreon at patreon.com/Audiophiliac. As always, thank you so much for watching.